The NFL is in absolute chaos right now. Front offices are whispering, coaches are tense, and the media can't stop talking about one name, Shadur Sanders. The son of the legendary Deion Primetime Sanders just broke the internet with a single tweet. At first glance, it looked like a simple, reflective post about faith, patience, and trusting God's timing. But anyone who's been following the situation in Cleveland knows this wasn't just another motivational quote. This was something else entirely. This was surrender, not out of weakness, but out of exhaustion. A silent, heartbreaking acknowledgment that no matter what he does, no matter how hard he works, the Cleveland Browns have already decided his fate. For weeks, fans and analysts have been wondering why Sanders hasn't touched the field. The Browns' offense has looked lifeless, their passing game non-existent, yet their young, talented quarterback remains glued to the bench. There was a game where the Browns were being obliterated, down by an embarrassing margin. And yet, even then, Shadur never got the call. It's the kind of situation where any coach with half a football brain would pull the struggling starter and give their rookie backup some reps. It's common sense, basic player management, but not in Cleveland. Then came the game against Miami. A blowout win, 31-6, the kind of game where backups around the league get their moment under the lights. The Dolphins had already pulled their starter. It was garbage time. The pressure was gone. It was the perfect opportunity to give the kid a few snaps. And yet again, nothing. Shadur sat on the bench, helmet on, waiting for a moment that never came. The Browns' offense finished with just 90 passing yards, while the defense, led by Myles Garrett, practically carried the team on its shoulders. You could feel the tension brewing inside the organization. You could see the frustration in Sanders' body language. He wasn't just being benched, he was being erased. And then, that tweet dropped. A calm, faith-filled message about trusting God and letting go of what you can't control. To most people, it sounded wholesome. But for those who know the game, for those who understand the politics behind NFL locker rooms, it was a cry from the heart. A coded message that said, "I'm done fighting battles I can't win." He wasn't giving up on football. He was giving up on Cleveland. The truth is, the Browns' decision-making defies logic. Analysts have been puzzled for weeks. Why not give the kid a chance? One insider gave the most brutally honest answer imaginable. The Browns are scared. Scared that if Shedeur gets even 2 minutes of game time, if he throws even a couple of crisp completions, the media firestorm would be unstoppable. Reporters would hound head coach Kevin Stefanski, fans would demand a quarterback change, and suddenly the team would have a full-blown controversy on its hands. So, to avoid that nightmare scenario, they've chosen to bury Sanders completely. They'd rather watch their offense sputter than risk their backup looking too good. That's not coaching. That's cowardice. That's ego. And it's especially tragic when you realize how we got here. Rewind to draft day. Shadur Sanders was supposed to be a first-round pick. Analysts had him ranked right next to Cam Ward as one of the top quarterback prospects in the nation. The film didn't lie. He had the arm, the accuracy, the leadership, the composure. Everything about him screamed NFL ready. But then came the whispers. Rumors about his character. And not because of anything he'd done wrong, not because of scandal or attitude, but because of his father. At first, it seemed like fate might still be kind. Maybe Cleveland could be a quiet place to develop. But that illusion shattered quickly. From his first practice, it was clear he was better than Dillon Gabriel. The arm strength, the precision, the field vision, the difference was obvious. Teammates saw it. Reporters whispered it. Yet somehow it didn't matter. Gabriel kept starting. And the numbers tell a brutal story. 90 yards passing, game after game of offensive mediocrity, while the defense kept saving them. Even Myles Garrett, usually the calm voice of leadership, couldn't hide his frustration anymore. He didn't name names, but his message was clear. He's tired of carrying the team while the offense fails to do its part. He's tired of watching the same mistakes, the same anemic performances, the same refusal to make a change. Inside that locker room, players know what's happening. They can see talent when it's right in front of them. And yet, the coaches won't budge. Other teams, the Ravens, the Eagles, were reportedly interested in Sanders during the draft. Imagine how different things could have been. In Baltimore, he might have been the next man up behind Lamar Jackson, learning from a dynamic offense. In Philadelphia, he could have thrived in a disciplined, well-structured environment that knows how to develop talent. But instead, he's trapped in a situation that feels more political than professional. It's not about performance anymore. It's about perception. The Browns don't want to deal with the noise that comes with Deion Sanders' son playing well. They don't want the headlines, the comparisons, the questions. So they've built a wall around their decision. They've chosen comfort over competition, pride over potential. And in doing so, they've created exactly what they were trying to avoid. A full-blown controversy that now has the entire league talking. And yet, through it all, Shadur Sanders has shown nothing but grace. No outbursts, no bitter interviews, no public feuds, just quiet professionalism. His tweet wasn't bitterness, it was faith. It was acceptance. He's done everything right, practiced harder than anyone, stayed humble, studied film, lifted his teammates up, and still, the opportunity hasn't come. So now he's letting go, and maybe, just maybe, that's when everything will change. Because sometimes, the moment you stop fighting against the current is the moment the tide turns in your favor. The NFL has a way of finding justice eventually. The guys who stay focused, who do things the right way, who trust the process, they get their moment. It might not be in Cleveland. It might not be this season. But when Shadur Sanders finally gets that shot, when some team finally decides to see him for who he is rather than who his father is, the league won't know what hit it. One day, the Browns will look back and realize they had their franchise quarterback sitting on the bench all along. Other teams will wonder how they missed him. And the media that once called him arrogant for believing in himself will suddenly call him confident and resilient. That's how the story always goes. The narrative changes when success arrives. But here's what makes Shadur's journey so powerful. He's already won. Not on the scoreboard, not in stat sheets, but in spirit. He's shown that you can keep your dignity in a system that tries to silence you. He's shown that faith isn't weakness, it's strength. And that quiet surrender isn't quitting, it's peace. So maybe this isn't the end of his story. Maybe it's the calm before the storm. Because make no mistake, when Shadur Sanders finally steps on that field and unleashes what he's been holding in, the same league that ignored him will be begging for interviews. The same analysts who doubted him will pretend they always believed, and the same team that benched him might end up watching him light up the scoreboard for someone else. Until then, all we can do is watch and wait. Because somewhere out there, a storm is building. And when it hits, the NFL won't be ready for prime-time sun. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Browns are making a massive mistake keeping Shadur Sanders off the field? Should he stay patient, or should he push for a trade to a team that actually believes in him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.